Ukraine just signed a deal for up to 100 Dassault Rafale fighter jets. The announced value is 10 billion euros. That would make it one of the largest fighter acquisitions in recent European history. But there is a problem. This is not actually a purchase contract. It is a letter of intent. No financing has been secured. No delivery schedule is locked in. And Dassault already has a backlog of 233 aircraft for other customers. This video explains what the deal actually includes, why France agreed to it, and whether Ukraine will ever receive these jets. The Rafale is France's primary combat aircraft. Dassault Aviation has been building it since 2001. The jet is a twin-engine, multi-role fighter designed to perform air superiority, strike, reconnaissance, and nuclear deterrence missions. France currently operates between 143 and 150 Rafales across its Air Force and Navy. The aircraft has become a major export success over the past decade. Egypt operates 55, India has 36, Qatar has 36, Greece flies 24, Croatia received 12 used jets. The United Arab Emirates ordered 80 in 2021 for $16 billion. Indonesia signed for 42. Serbia is getting 12. Total backlog as of late 2025 stands at 233 aircraft. Ukraine has been requesting Western fighters since the war began in February 2022. The country started with around 100 Soviet-era jets, roughly 43 MiG-29s, 26 Su-27s, 12 Su-24s, and 17 Su-25s. After nearly 3 years of combat, verified losses exceed 80 aircraft. The remaining Soviet fleet cannot be replaced. No Allied nation operates these types, and stored airframes have degraded beyond recovery. Ukraine began receiving F-16s in July 2024. Denmark, the Netherlands, Belgium, and Norway have committed around 85 jets total, but these are older Block 15 variants with limited capabilities. The Rafale represents a significant upgrade. Whether Ukraine can actually obtain them is another question. President Zelensky and President Macron signed the letter of intent on November 17, 2025. The document covers up to 100 Rafale F4 fighters, with deliveries spanning 2026 through 2035. France explicitly ruled out transferring jets from its active inventory. Ukraine will receive only new-build aircraft. The 10 billion euro figure covers aircraft alone. Full package costs run significantly higher. India's 2025 deal for 26 Rafale M naval fighters totaled 7.41 billion euros. That works out to roughly 285 million euros per aircraft, including weapons, training, and support. Applied to 100 jets, Ukraine's total could reach 22 to 25 billion euros. Beyond fighters, the agreement includes air defense systems and weapons. Ukraine will receive 8 SAMP-TNG surface-to-air missile systems with 48 launchers. These are the next-generation Mamba systems.co, developed by France and Italy. The package also includes Thales Groundmaster, 200 radar systems, Scalp cruise missiles with 250 to 560 km range, Meteor Beyond Visual Range missiles with over 200 km range, and Mica air-to-air missiles. The financing mechanism remains completely unresolved. Ukraine faces a $60 billion budget shortfall for 2026 and 2027. The country cannot afford billions for fighter jets while funding ongoing military operations. Proposed solutions include EU grants, EU borrowing facilities, and frozen Russian assets held in European banks. Approximately 210 billion euros in Russian central bank funds are frozen in Belgium's Euroclear system. Belgium has rejected using these assets, citing legal and financial risks. One Ukrainian economist stated directly that Ukraine does not have such money and will never have it on its own. The deal depends entirely on external financing that does not yet exist. Defense analysts describe the agreement as a political statement rather than an operational procurement. The letter of intent creates no binding obligation for either party. Actual contracts would need to follow once financing is arranged. The performance gap between Rafale and Ukraine's donated F-16s is substantial. Ukraine received Block 15 MLU variants from European stocks. These jets entered service in the 1980s and have undergone modernization. The Rafale F4 is a current-generation aircraft with significantly greater capability. Combat radius is the most important difference. The Rafale carries enough fuel to strike targets 1,850 kilometers from base while fully loaded. Ukraine's F-16 Block 15 jets have a combat radius of approximately 550 kilometers. The Rafale can fly more than 3 times farther on internal fuel. This enables deep strikes against Russian logistics and command centers without aerial refueling. The Rafale carries 2 Snecma M88 engines, producing 150 kilonewtons of combined thrust. The F-16 has a single engine producing 105 kilonewtons. Twin engines provide redundancy in combat. If one engine is damaged, the pilot can return to base. Single-engine fighters do not have this option. Weapons capacity favors the Rafale significantly. The jet carries 9,500 kilograms across 14 hardpoints. The F-16 Block 15 carries around 5,400 kilograms on 9 hardpoints. More importantly, the Rafale integrates weapons Ukraine's F-16s cannot carry. The Meteor missile is the primary example. This ramjet-powered weapon has a range exceeding 200 kilometers. It maintains high energy throughout flight, giving it the largest no-escape zone of any air-to-air missile currently deployed. Ukraine's F-16s carry AIM-120 AMRAAM missiles with shorter range and less terminal energy. The Scalp cruise missile provides deep strike capability. Ukraine already operates Scalp missiles adapted to Soviet aircraft. Rafale integration would be straightforward. The weapon carries a 450-kilogram Broach warhead designed to penetrate hardened bunkers and underground facilities. The RB-E2A active electronically scanned array radar tracks twice as many targets at greater range than standard F-16 radars. The Spectra electronic warfare suite provides 360-degree threat detection and jamming. These systems give the Rafale significant survivability advantages in contested airspace. Dassault Aviation currently produces between 21 and 25 Rafales per year. The company plans to increase output to 4 aircraft per month by 2028 or 2029. That would bring annual production to around 48 jets. Even at maximum rate, the existing 233 aircraft backlog would take years to clear. The UAE ordered 80 Rafales in December 2021. Those deliveries began in 2024 and continue through the late 2020s. Indonesia's 42 jet order from 2022 follows. India ordered 26 naval Rafales in 2025, with deliveries extending past 2030. Serbia's 12 aircraft fit into remaining production slots. Ukraine sits at the back of this queue. Defense analysts estimate first deliveries could not realistically occur before 2029. Some assessments push initial deliveries to 2031 or later. The letter of intent specifies deliveries through 2035, but production constraints make front-loaded delivery impossible. Training adds further delay. French officials confirmed Rafale pilot training requires at least 3 years from initial qualification. Ukrainian pilots currently learning to fly Mirage 2005F jets would have shorter transition times. Zelensky stated they will not spend a full year learning Rafale operations. Ground crew and maintenance technician training runs in parallel, but requires dedicated facilities. Infrastructure presents additional challenges. The Rafale's twin-engine configuration requires different maintenance equipment than F-16s under continuous Russian strikes that have destroyed 70% of Ukraine's power generation. Establishing secure facilities is difficult. Air defense systems would need to protect basing areas under construction. The timeline matters because the war continues. Equipment arriving in 2030 or later does not address current operational needs. The F-16s arriving now provide immediate capability, however limited. The Rafale deal addresses post-war Air Force reconstruction rather than active combat requirements. The Rafale agreement functions primarily as political signaling. France demonstrated long-term commitment to Ukrainian security, regardless of how the current conflict ends. The deal warns Russia that future aggression would face a NATO-standard equipped adversary. European defense industrial capacity is the underlying constraint. Dassault cannot rapidly expand production without massive investment. Supply chains for engines, radar systems, and precision components have fixed limits. Even with financing, production cannot accelerate quickly. The announcement occurred 3 days before President Trump presented a 28-point peace plan to Zelensky. That plan includes provisions affecting European fighter deployments. Peace negotiations could overtake procurement timelines. Equipment ordered today might arrive into a fundamentally different strategic environment. For Ukraine's Air Force, the immediate priority remains F-16 integration and pilot training. The roughly 40 F-16s delivered by late 2025 represent actual operational capability. The 100 Rafales exist only on paper. One defense analyst summarized the situation directly: "The deal will not help Ukraine in the near term, and it is not even a real deal yet." If you want to understand how F-16s compare to other fighters Ukraine has been offered, I have a full breakdown linked in the description. For more on European fighter production capacity and why Western allies struggle to supply aircraft quickly, check the video on screen now. Subscribe for more data-driven aviation coverage.